Welcome to the Passionate Roaditor, TPR, where we stay on the road to keep you safe on the road. This is, without doubt, the most difficult episode of TPR I have ever done. In life, there are people who come along who are 1 in a million. And then there are the rarefied few who are 1 in 8 billion. Take Sir Lewis Hamilton for instance, and the late Captain Anne Wambui Mokua. Sadly, exactly 1 year ago, Captain Anne Wambui Mokua died in an accident on the Thika Highway. You need to know Captain Anne Mokua. You need to tell others about Captain Anne Mokua. Why? Because she was a bright light, and her light can help you find your way in life. Captain Anne Mokua had figured out life, and her life, though cut short last year, is characterized by an overflowing legacy of greatness. A pilot with Kenya Airways died when a car she was driving rammed into a stationary lorry in the Kahawa Sukari area along Thika Road. Captain Anne Wambui Mokua was alone in her Honda Civic car when the accident happened on Saturday, May 11th morning. Police said she was driving from Nairobi and headed in Thika's direction when the accident happened. Witnesses and police said she was driving in the first left lane when her car rammed into a trailer. The lorry had developed mechanical issues and stalled on the road. The driver of the lorry did not erect a warning as required. Following the impact of the accident, Captain Anne Mokua was removed from the badly damaged car and rushed to the nearby Kenyatta University Referral Hospital, where she was pronounced dead on arrival. The Passionate Roaditor would like to highlight this specific part of the reporting. The driver of the lorry did not erect a warning as required. As a result of this, Kenyans lost a pilot who was at the top of her game, a captain who was routinely in charge of the lives of over 100 on board her aircraft. Yes, her aircraft, because she was in command. As an aviation enthusiast, I've heard captains declare the number of souls on board whenever there is an emergency. Down on the ground here, the lorry driver had an emergency and did not put up a safety triangle like this one to warn other motorists of the stationary lorry ahead. TPR believes that had the driver put up the safety triangle, also commonly referred to as a lifesaver, Captain Anne Wambui Mokua would have reacted in time to avoid a fatal collision. Fast forward almost a year later, on 19th April 2025. 4 people have been confirmed dead following a tragic road accident in the early hours of Saturday morning in Ruiru, Kiambu County. The incident occurred at around 3:40 a.m. near Membli in Ruiru when a private vehicle rammed into a stationary trailer. All 4 occupants of the car died on the spot due to the force of the impact. Preliminary reports indicate that the crash may have been caused by speeding, which left the driver with little time to react upon encountering the stalled trailer. Contributing factors cited include poor visibility due to malfunctioning streetlights and the alleged failure of the trailer driver to place a warning sign at the scene. This accident happened just a few kilometers from the scene of the accident that took the life of Captain Anne Mokua. Note the similarities in both accidents, particularly the fact that in both, the drivers of the heavy commercial trucks did not place warning signs to alert drivers of their stalled vehicles. The Passionate Roaditor cannot do justice to the life of Captain Anne Wambui Mokua in telling who she was. But TPR can provide a snapshot that will not only reveal to you who she was, but also challenge you to strive to be the best you can be, to leave as rich a legacy as Captain Anne's.
Doing your tax returns every so often because you wanted me to learn when all I could understand is the word nil.
The following are excerpts from Captain Anne Wambui Mokua's memorial service that was held at ICC Imara in Nairobi. The full video, titled Celebrating the Life of Captain Anne Wambui Mokua, is available on ICC Imara's YouTube channel.
She knew the true value of time with family and friends. Her doors were always open, giving of herself so effortlessly and taking an interest in what was so dear to us.
I became a captain, she cheered me on. When I became a mother, she was there for me. Watching her live was such a powerful example.
Anne was born a leader. It was remarkable how a dozen or so strangers would choose her to be our class rep in flying school, even after knowing her all of 2 seconds, which made life better during our cadet program.
We thank God for the opportunity that we had to interact with her. We have learned a lot of things from Anne. She loved passionately, she gave generously, and she lived a very, very, very full life.
Oh, I remember the Imara mothers. Yes, that was your children playing soccer with Anne. The one who I always heard from the ladies, kuna mama anachezanga mpira na watoto. They did not know who she was or what she did. And when one of the kids hit the ball and knocked a neighbor's car and the alarm rang, she just said, "It's okay, I'll say it's my fault." And and hata ikivunjika, it's always replaceable.
Whenever any of us met you, it was sheer joy as we giggled and told each other how none of us had not changed one bit. And then you became Captain Anne, yet with all the esteem and prestige that's held with such a role, you never changed one bit. Your down-to-earth nature and love for old friends on one occasion made you move one of us to business class after you met on the plane and you had a hearty laugh reminiscing on the good old times. These and so many other memories we will forever hold dear.
We never knew Anne was a captain. To us, she was a sister, a friend, a neighbor, a member. Anne was a homeowner.
We think back to when we finished KCSE and you got an A-. Yani, you were such a choppy. Where did you get the time to read? Yet you were always on the hockey pitch, training with Njao. Njao was our teacher and hockey coach. Hockey was definitely your first love in St. Anne's, and boy, did you play the game. One of the best hockey defenders St. Anne's ever had. No wonder your legs always got hurt because the competing team couldn't get past you. And for the first time in history, St. Anne's made it all the way to the Nationals in Kakamega.
And for a lot of us, we were wondering where exactly did she apply this HR. But in the last couple of days, as we mingled with the many people, we actually realized that we all felt special to Anne, but so did everyone. So she did use her HR skills in managing her unincorporated because she had a lot of human resources in her life, and we thank God for that opportunity.
And everything that's coming out today and during this period of mourning is that I never saw anything that was too big to be handled. I mean, she would say something like, "Kitu kidogo," it's small things. You know, you guys are going home, it's curfew. It's a small thing. And that makes me believe that she knew how to deal with mega issues.
For her, there was nothing that was ever too big or too serious that could not be surmounted. Even just, learning something else over and above what she did in university. And that's how she went on to become a KQ captain.
The first time I saw a strange transaction on my phone, I thought it was an error and asked where the money was coming from. So I went to the bank and asked where the money was coming from, and they told me it was from Anne Karaoke. Honestly, I don't remember when I gave her the account number, but from that time, I never asked again. She would do that every other time. I think I grew a big head, because whatever I was going through, I knew Anne would take care of it. Her last direct deposit to my account was at the beginning of this month. Anne always had something to give me. It could be an advice, financial wisdom, or support, something she picked from the shops while traveling, or mboga and eggs from the farm. When things landed in my house, I would reciprocate. That's how I taught Anne the one Luya word she knew, shimwero. So many things were dropped at my house, even in my absence.
I would miss the days I went quiet without sending something on WhatsApp. And she used to harass me about these memes that you'd see her posting. And she'd ask me whether I don't have bundles to send memes. And strangely, the Thursday before the Saturday when she passed on, I was at Mom's. I'd left work and I drove all the way to Thika just to hang out with Mom. And we were just there and she was trying to cook for me something and I was telling her, I just want to talk to her. So we were just there talking and Wambui strangely sent me 1,000 shillings. But without knowing, when I went to my WhatsApp, she had asked me, what's happening with the memes? Why is there nothing coming? So I figured the 1,000 was for bundles, which I really didn't need, but that was typical Wambui for you. So she never saw anything big, and she would just go out of her way to make sure that everything flowed.
When we were hanging out for long lunches or whatever, she would pick me from my house because she knew I hated driving. It didn't matter where I was staying. It was never too far for Anne.
Anne loved to drive. We drove so much to Kisii and other various places. But Matutu struck out to her because my grandmother is there. She took it to her mantle with my mom being away, she would take care of that grandmother, which she did 100% without any failure or anything. She just did it because of the love that she had for her.
The memory of her life challenges us to live differently, to love, care, and be more intentional. Always having open, wide arms ready for a hug.
Anne was a superwoman. I don't know what time she rested because she was always on the move doing something. She would arrive from work in the morning and walk the kids to school. She then organized the house and do laundry so that her nanny could get some rest. One time I called her and she didn't answer. When she returned my call, she told me she was fixing something on the roof. She was very humble and practical.
When I joined the airline as a second officer, I mean, we're not many if you in the grand scheme of the populace of male pilots versus female pilots. I was unsure of the future. I didn't know what to expect. And I was really intimidated by the task as a second officer. But she encouraged me. She told me, be easy. It's not that serious. You'll pass. you'll be fine. And every time I had a concern, that was her attitude.
She had such a positive, never say die attitude, never being overwhelmed or getting worked up about anything, but taking in a deep breath, knowing that there was always a solution and nothing would deter her as she worked towards it.
She made sure when she was around from her busy flying schedules that she joined the rest of the members at the various race parties. Many instances are when, I personally can remember, when she actually landed and drove straight to the venues to cheer and celebrate her team.
As a senior pilot, she was a mentor and inspiration to our junior pilots. Thus, the airline and the country have lost a great talent.
She went through her training with ease, from the ab initio training in Port Elizabeth. This I say with confidence because I can see her training file as a manager. To her many type rating courses, through the 737, the Embraer 190, the 767 Boeing 777. That's the biggest aircraft that Kenya has flown. So she has flown the biggest aircraft that has been flown in Kenya and owned by a Kenyan company.
Her career at Kenya Airways spanned over 17 years, during which she showcased exceptional dedication and professionalism.
When she was on off duty, Anne would walk her children to school and pick them and walk with them back home. And this was intentional, considering Anne was driving. Anne did this so that she could bond with her children, motivate her children.
Who will put together the random parties, who will help with our homework, who will fly us to see the world. What about the weekend getaways? Isn't that what every child wishes for? Dad, you will have to step up twice.
All I can think of are the jokes we'd make, the weird food combinations, yogurt, Njao and rice, weird salads in the middle of the night, mkate na avocado, almond, cashews, chia seeds, and kombucha we'd have, and all the lovely places I have seen in this world through you. I remember running errands with you and being two handy women together. Working in Doni, renovating the house was the best time ever. Painting walls with you, climbing roofs with you, drinking milk from the packet on our way to buy tiles and paint, picking paint with you, looking at color grades with you. Oh man, Yani, we used to be foremen and interior designers, all in one. Kweli, we did the most. Doing your tax returns every so often because you wanted me to learn when all I could understand is the word nil.
She was on ground when she was not flying for quite a while after they came. And she only went back when the kids were of age. This for ladies in aviation is quite a sacrifice. And when others could see that she lost cumulatively over 2 years in career progression, she saw it as building her family and loving on her children. I salute her for this, always do, and will forever be grateful for her for putting our family first.
She was humble, always taking time to talk to people and know them. In fact, most of our nannies remember her because she would always take a few minutes to find out how they were doing whenever she came to visit.
Whenever we traveled home, like I remember once we were going to do for her some shopping in then Nakumat, what was it, Naivas, I can't remember. There's a very long queue of people. The supermarket was new in Kisii, so it was really packed. So we went and did the normal groceries for grandma. So when we're in the queue, there's a lady who was in front of us with a baby at her back and one on the side. She had, I can never forget, she had a small blue band, a very tiny one, in a loaf of bread. And Anne just looked at me and took the shop, whatever that lady had, and put what we'd taken for grandma and gave it to her and told her, endelea kuchunga mtoto wako. Hii ni tu usaidizi ya leo. And got into my pocket because I had some money in there and gave it to the lady. It was overwhelming for her, for the lady, and she couldn't believe what had just happened. So thereafter we had to go back to the, we had to go back and start shopping again, and then wait to join the queue again. It was a long queue. If those who've been to Kisii know how Kisii's shop. So it was, we were back on the line, and she told me it's never serious. Kwani tunarudi leo. Let's just hang in there. But the lucky thing is that the manager saw what had happened, pulled us back in front of the line. That's the kind of person she was.
Captain Anne Mokua is one of the privileged few in the world who can say that she used to maneuver a craft that was faster than a Formula One car. This is how Arnold Mokua, her husband, introduced Captain Anne to Formula One.
So during this time, she kept asking me, hey, Saturday, Sunday, what happens? It was difficult to explain, but I told her, let's just go. I go to Choices to watch Formula One with my friends. And she said she couldn't understand, but one day she'll accompany me when she's off work, which is what we did one race day. And I just watched her. She was completely glued. And those of us who follow Formula One know the thrill from before the lights turn red and we go. You know the thrill of the first corner. That was the thrill that I saw in her, and that has remained with her. She's been very passionate, completely and absolutely passionate. And I think once she went for SIM, I think in Singapore, and F1 was there, and she bragged to me, oh, when do nafikiri, you've taught me F1, now I'm here.
Captain Anne was a fan of then Mercedes driver Sir Lewis Hamilton. In the sport of Formula One, Hamilton is the greatest. But there is more to Hamilton. He is an honest, hardworking and humble man who genuinely loves motor racing and who is blessed with unmatched innate talent to race. Captain Anne may have seen Hamilton as a kindred spirit, for she herself lived by those virtues. Captain Anne soared in life, both literally and figuratively. There seems to have been a thread involving the number 17 in Captain Anne's life. This number is a combination of 1 denoting being at the top, first or ahead of the rest, and 7 denoting completion. Anne was at the top of her game and lived a full, complete life.
Anne was a homeowner of house number 17. There's something significant about 17. I've heard she's worked in KQ for over 17 years. She lived in house number 17. She was in one of the motor racing groups, and she did something about it from the year 2017.
Interestingly, the time between the start of Lewis Hamilton's Formula One career in 2007 and Captain Anne's demise in 2024 is also 17 years. If Captain Anne had encountered a safety triangle some meters before the stalled truck, it is highly likely she would have reacted in a manner that would have saved her life. The problem is the driver who failed to put that safety triangle there, leading to Captain Anne's demise, is not compelled by the authorities to consider the safety triangle a matter of life or death, which explains why a similar accident happened near Membley Estate on 19th April 2025. Making it mandatory for drivers of stalled vehicles to put up the safety triangle a reasonable distance from the vehicle will help save lives. This is a low-hanging fruit that Davis Chirchir, the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport, George Njao, the Director General of the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA), or Engineer Kongo Ndung'u, the Director General of the Kenya National Highways Authority (KENHA), can take up and make a reality. What's lacking is leadership from these men. The Passionate Roaditor is hoping that in honor of the late Captain Anne Wambui Mokua, Chirchir, Njao, or Engineer Ndung'u will see to it that drivers are compelled to use safety triangles to warn other road users of stalled vehicles. There is a reason why they are labeled lifesaver. We don't know which lives might be saved as a result of the government enforcing this matter, but for sure, we know that some lives will be saved, and that will be so worth it. Post your feedback on the comments section or send it to ThePassionateRoaditor@gmail.com. Do like, share, and subscribe to TPR for road safety content aimed at saving lives. Whether you'll fly or use the road, TPR wishes you a safe commute to your next destination. TPR leaves you with this quote from Captain Anne Wambui Mokua from an interview she did with Jackson Biko in 2023. Captain Anne was commenting about being a captain. "I'm glad I am where I am. There is a reason why I'm here. And if I don't make an impact by being where I am, it's going to waste."